Hi, my name is Lisa Robyn Wood and I am the founder of Grip Corporate Coaching. In my video last week, I talked about the power of being flexible and adapting to situations and scenarios. To build on that further, I wanted to talk today about adapting and being flexible to people. What I don't mean is changing yourself to suit others. What I'm referring to is about recognising that we are all different and how we can best work together by being appreciative and respectful of our differences and supporting each other to bring the best of our qualities out into the open. So throughout my career, and actually I would probably argue my life, I've always been a very extroverted character who really enjoys being dramatic, flamboyant. I loved drama. I did a drama degree actually, which has obviously come in very useful in my in my work life, and I've always loved being very expressionistic. But throughout my career, I have struggled with certain character types, and especially those I would say who are introverted and potentially a little bit shy. And what tends to happen for me is that the more uncomfortable I feel, the more extrovert I actually become, and I get terrible word vomit. And for an individual who is introverted and potentially a lot more quieter and a lot more reflective, having someone attack them verbally and flamboyantly with a lot of gesturing is just going to be intimidating and uncomfortable and cause them to go further inward into themselves, which I don't think I ever really appreciated. I didn't recognise this at all in my more junior career, and if anything I just got frustrated with those types of people. And because of how they made me feel uncomfortable, or rather how I allowed them to make me feel uncomfortable, because I didn't appreciate the way that they were and why they were that way, I became very closed off to those types of people and didn't recognise them for their own strengths and skills and what they could bring to the table. Having various different types of personality is so crucial in a really successful business and in a successful work environment, in a successful life environment. It's brilliant that we're not all the same. And actually, because I can be quite, I suppose, fiery in some ways, it means I can often make decisions a bit too quick, and I will storm ahead. And what I really, really appreciate, what I need, are those reflectors around me who are taking the time to listen, to absorb, and who are helping me to just slow down and make sure that we're making the absolute right decision. But that's taken me a lot of time to realise. When I was building teams, again, that clash in personality between my extroverted nature and some of the more introverted characters in my team caused me to really struggle to build strong relationships, because the approach I was taking was not the right one. And actually what I've really learned is how to flex and adapt my style to better fit others so that I can better support them. And that has been so important as I've grown into a leader, and as I've managed teams, and really spending time to be curious about those individuals and get to know them better and what works for them, so I can support them to be the best version of themselves. As I said, this is not about me changing myself. It's about just altering my approach and altering my style. And there are lots of ways that you can learn to do this. There are so many personality modelling systems that you can use, like Myers-Briggs, which is probably one of the most famous, like Insights, like DISC. All of these are so helpful to create that insight. And I would argue that you create your insight about you and yourself. Get to know you first, because if you can't understand who you are, you will never understand anybody else. So start with yourself. These are great personality profiling tools. And then utilise it to learn about how you better understand other people and understand how your types work with others. But a word of caution, don't use them to the letter. These personality profiles are so useful to create insight, but use them in the right way. Don't pigeonhole people. That's the worst. I've had people say to me, "Oh, you're a red." Am I? And that can be quite frustrating because it's never that black and white. Still be curious, learn about people, ask questions, listen to the answers if you ask a question, but really strive to understand others, and that will enable you to flex and adapt to them more effectively than any personality profiling tool will. If you want to learn more about flexing and adapting to people by starting with yourself first and getting to know yourself better, give me a shout and we can have a conversation. Either find me on my website, www.gripcoaching.co.uk, or drop me an email at lisa@gripcoaching.co.uk and we can have a conversation. Thanks.